Anna, it's been a while, hasn't it? I missed you all. 8 months, I think, I've been gone, or 9. I don't remember. I actually was so nervous starting recording again, but I'll get used to it, I'm sure. Well, I want to start by apologizing. I'm really sorry for suddenly disappearing like that without any notice, especially on YouTube. I just took my channel down without saying a word. I gave like a day or two notice on Patreon, but that was it. My life went out of hand, okay? And I had to make such quick decisions. I didn't have time to give notice. So I hope that you can forgive me, please. Okay? I really missed you all. And I missed making YouTube videos and reactions. And I hope that you haven't forgotten about me. I know it's been a long time, but I really didn't forget about you at all. I've been thinking about this whole time. So I wanted to make this video to share with you a bit of what happened over the past few months. From when I disappeared up until now, like what's going on and what are my plans of the future. But, okay, for you to understand why I had to disappear like that, I will need to tell you a little bit about myself, my past and stuff like that. This is something I've never really liked talking about because it isn't really a pleasant topic, it's not a nice topic. But anyway, I finally feel like it's time to do this, okay, and share a little bit about myself. For a long time, really, I couldn't talk about any of this because it just wasn't safe for me, okay? But now my situation has changed and you're gonna find out how. I finally feel free to share my story. If you've been watching my reactions, or if you've watched my reactions, I should say, you may have noticed what kind of personality I've got, okay? I'm more like cheerful and positive, and that's how I always try to stay, even in real life, to stay positive, okay? And despite any hardships I may have faced in the past, I don't see myself as a victim, but as a victor. Yes, I don't let the past and horrible things that happen dictate my present and my future. I don't. Be warned though, before I get into all of this, because what I'm about to share isn't pleasant, like I said, okay? So if you don't like hearing sad stories, or you just simply don't care and you just want to know what my plans are, and you're just glad that I'm back, okay? Then you can skip to this minute that you see in front of you. Yeah, and that's it. So let's get into this. Oh, I forgot to say the ending is happy. Okay, at least we've got that. But anyway, before I tell you what happened in, why I disappeared like that, I have to share a bit about the environment that I grew up in. It is really important for you to understand where I'm coming from, okay? And why I made the decisions that I made. So I come from a very strict, religious, and dysfunctional family. Remember all those three, okay? That is so important, okay? Growing up, I wasn't really allowed to do so many things that are completely normal for everyone else. Like what, you may ask? Like wearing whatever clothes that I want, okay? Or even something stupid as painting my nails. I wasn't allowed to do that. I love nail art. You have no idea. I really liked it. It was like a hobby for me, okay? But I wasn't allowed to do that. I was also told who I could and couldn't be friends with. I never had really any close friends in school, Whenever somebody would invite me to a party, I would always have to decline. It wasn't my choice, okay? Whenever I would have brought it up to my dad or mom, they would say no, just no. Yeah. It's not nice, okay? That's why I warned you. It's not too late to skip if you don't want to hear it. Anyway, having a presence on social media wasn't allowed either. You know where this is going, okay? And the list goes on. I was restricted in almost every aspect of my life. I was basically living like a prisoner, like living under a rock, okay? So something like becoming a VTuber was completely out of the question. Yes, that's my point, okay? I know you may ask, then how did you become a VTuber? Hold your horses, I'm gonna get to that. But there is one more thing I want to say is that those rules that were enforced on me, okay, I never chose that, I never chose it, was enforced on me, were coupled with threats of punishment. I was told that if I ever disobeyed, it means that I committed a sin, and that means that I'll be punished by God in afterlife. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So whenever I did something as simple as painting my nails, I would feel so guilty and be tormented with that guilt, even though it's really harmless. Anyway, yes, I wasn't perfect, okay? And I'm not too. I didn't follow every rule and law because I had my own wants. I wanted to do things. I followed them to the best of my abilities, but it was never enough. It was suffocating, honestly. I mean, I couldn't even paint my nails, right? But I'm free now, but I'll get to that. Anyway, while I was writing some notes about what I wanted to share in this video, I remembered something, okay, that happened during one of my streams in the past. One day, somebody said to me, "You are an enigma." Now, I did not understand what that meant, so I asked in the chat. I said, "What does that even mean?" And they told me that it means someone mysterious or difficult to understand. Now, I think the reason why they said that is because of my lack of basic knowledge. I often find myself puzzled by things that everyone else seems to know, like it's a normal, right? And I really believe that my restricted upbringing had something to do with that, maybe. Okay, and so that same person, okay, said that, "Were you locked up in a lab or something?" And that made me laugh so very much because they weren't actually far off from the truth. I mean, of course I wasn't locked up in a lab, but basically I was. So I said, "Sure, let's go with that." That was very hilarious. I thought I would share it with you because I found it funny and maybe lighten up the mood a bit. Okay, let's get back to the topic. So, as I grew up and a lot of things happened in my life, I eventually reached a point where I didn't believe what my family believed anymore. And at that point, I found Jesus Christ and I became a born again Christian. Yes. And for the first time in my life, I felt free. The guilt and shame that had been tormenting me for years disappeared in seconds. I truly felt so much peace and hope. The things that were once forbidden to me were no longer forbidden. My whole world changed, okay? I realized also how wrong my family's beliefs were and how they had forced those beliefs on me. I'm sure they truly believed that they were doing what's right and what's best for me. I'm sure, okay? Because believe it or not, despite how miserable my life was, I truly believed that it was the only way to live, to suffer in this life and restrain myself from everything that I want so that I could go to heaven in the next life. Yeah, insane, okay? So while my soul and spirit were finally free, I'm no longer being tormented by guilt or anything like that. I still wasn't physically free because I was living with my mom. And okay, first, yes, my mom and my dad got divorced when I was 11. Yeah, dysfunctional family, didn't I say? Anyway, and so in that society, I couldn't really let anybody know about this huge change in my life, okay? Because that would have put my life in danger. I had to keep it a secret, basically, okay? You could be thinking, then why did you not just leave or live on your own, right? I couldn't. It just was impossible. Why? Because I come from a very different culture and society where a girl or a woman isn't really allowed to live on her own. She has to stay with her family or husband if she's married. Okay. Yes. It's crazy, but this world exists if you are not familiar with it. There is a world like that. Okay, now that part is out of the way. Okay, I think that's like the saddest. I don't know, is it the saddest part? Anyway, my whole life, okay, I wanted to do something productive, like getting a job or doing something that I enjoyed, like painting my nails. Like I seriously, even at some point, was thinking that I really want to be a nail artist. Okay, but because of my restricted upbringing, I couldn't. Okay, I was limited in the things that I can do. Okay. Anyway, one day, after a few years after I had become a Christian, I stumbled across VTubers on YouTube. That was like on 2024, around 2024. At first, I wasn't really sure what they were, and I was like, "What am I watching?" Okay, but at the same time, I found myself very drawn to them. Like I just kept continuing to watch one after another. I just found them very entertaining, and maybe I felt like, I don't know, like they're something, I don't know what to say, like closeness. I felt like I could totally see myself there, huh? And then after a few weeks of binging VTubers, I woke up one day and I just knew that I want to be a VTuber. Okay, I want to do it too myself. And this time, I'm not feeling guilty for doing it. It's totally fine and okay. I told you, because all of these stupid things that were drilled in me when I was a kid, that they are wrong and I can't do them, that was gone from me. I had a peace of mind and I knew that being a VTuber is totally fine. Okay, but still, as I said, there was the risk of anybody finding out that I was doing that. Anyway, I decided to be a VTuber. I went and I commissioned this model that you're seeing here. Yes, and I got everything set up. Okay, becoming a VTuber was perfect for me. I had finally found something that I genuinely enjoyed doing. On top of that, I didn't need to show my face or reveal my identity. I could keep everything about myself secret, a secret. Nobody could find out about it. So my family, even if they're on the internet, they will never find out about me. Unless somehow they can recognize my voice, which I don't think so. Or if they go ravage my PC somehow, but it was very unlikely, okay? Why? It's because at that point, actually, because I told you that my family is very dysfunctional and also very toxic, I had to take some measures to distance myself from them. Like I wasn't really on talking terms. I did live with my mom, right? But our house was really big. Okay, it was like a 3-story building, and I was on the second floor. Okay, very far away from everybody else. Only my sister was right next to me. And so I kind of had some privacy to do this YouTube stuff, VTubing stuff, okay? Of course, I had to do it when they were asleep. I had to be quiet and make sure that nobody was around, but I managed, and I did it. I started with making gameplay videos on YouTube for gacha games. I played a lot of gacha games, okay? It was a lot of fun, really. I enjoyed it. And I wanted to try streaming, so I started streaming near the end of 2024 for like a few months, okay? Until early 2025. And that's when I stopped all of that and I switched to anime and movies reactions, and I was having a blast with that. Everything was going very well, until near the end of 2025. Yes, and that's when I disappeared. Okay, now, this is the part that you're probably here for. Okay, what happened at the end of 2025? So, my mom had been ill for years. okay? Her health just kept declining with time. And at the end of 2025, she had to be hospitalized and undergo surgery. Sadly, she never recovered. And a couple of weeks after that, she passed away. It was a lot to deal with, okay? And I had to act quickly because a window had finally opened for me to escape my family. I know you may think it sounds horrible. But I knew that I had to take that opportunity because I might never get another one. I was living still kind of like a prisoner physically. Even if I had a peace of mind, I wanted to be physically free too, to do what I want to do freely, without the constraint and the watchful eyes of my family. So my mom's passing created that window. Now, I know that it was a risky and dangerous decision to escape my family, okay? But I was willing to take that risk. For me, it was a now or never situation. I asked myself, did I want to spend the rest of my life constrained like that, living a double life? In secret, I am one way, and in front of my family, I'm another way? Or was I willing to risk it all to finally be free? For me, the answer was really obvious. I chose freedom, even though I knew that if this backfired, it could make my life way worse than what it was. So I needed to remove everything related to my VTubing career from the internet and from my PC. I couldn't exactly carry my PC with me, okay? But don't worry, everything is backed up. Everything is safe. So I couldn't risk anyone finding out anything about me. You know, after I have gone, they could go on my PC, find something. I just was trying to be as careful as I could, okay? Because it is already dangerous what I was doing. Anyway, I'm happy to say it was a success. Well, I'm here, right? So it was a success. It took months for me to relocate and finally have some stability again. But I can happily say that I am free, physically and spiritually, both. Thank you, Lord God. I can finally now build a new life here and do the things that I enjoy, you know, publicly, not having to hide myself anymore. And without, constantly living in this fear that if somebody finds out about me or what I'm doing, that something bad could happen to me. I'm free! Okay? I mean, if I can scream it even louder, I would. But for the sake of your ears, I better not. So, for my plans for the future, what am I going to do? I want to resume everything ASAP, okay, as soon as possible. So I will start with YouTube. I'll get back to making reaction videos for anime openings. I'm sure there is a lot to catch up on. It's been a very long time. I don't know how many months did I say. So there's lots of new things to check out, right? As for episodes reactions, those will be delayed for a little while until I'm fully back in business. And as for Patreon, I will be working on re-uploading all of my previous content again. Remember, I had to delete everything, okay? But don't worry, as I said, everything is backed up, so I just need to re-upload it, okay? And that will take a little while, but I'm working on it, and hopefully everything will be back in order as soon as possible. Well, that's everything from me for today. I hope that I didn't bore you with all of that. I'm sure you probably also weren't expecting such heavy stuff. I'm sorry, okay? But that's life. Not everyone has a peaceful and a happy childhood or upbringing or life, right? And I feel like it's good, I think it's good in my opinion, to listen to other stories too. It helps us also appreciate what we've got, you know. It does. But what matters to me more than my miserable past, and that's something I want you to know, is that I'm finally free and happy happy too. Like I said at the start, I don't see myself as a victim, but as a victor. And today, more than ever, I know that's true. I also left out a lot of events and details about what happened. Maybe one day I'll feel comfortable to share more. We'll see about that. And also, one last thing, I just want to say thank you so very much. I am so thankful and grateful for all of the support that I received when I was active. You have no idea how much that helped me. I hope that from now on we can have plenty of fun together again. Well, thank you everybody for watching this far, and I hope to see you in my next video. I can finally say that. Bye!